Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Good. I have two goods and a fair and not so fair. No, you're here, Margaret. Okay, Margaret comes to meetings and she sits at the back and I say, well, you gotta sit at the front, Margaret. And she did that today, so wasn't that fought something in the end? Everybody got here safely, I hope? Yeah. Oh, yeah, good luck. I had a bike that tipped me over at Harvey's before I got here. And we're a lot. Anyhow, so listen, you're not here to listen to me. All I want to say is welcome. I'm a big believer in trying to bring people together and let them get a chance to talk to our professional staff about the professional things they're trying to do. To this evening's meeting is what they call a PIC. And all the boards around here sort of outline what's happening, but they're going to explain all that to you. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my good friend. Come, please. She's a hot shot down at City Hall, Susan. And Susan's going to introduce her staff colleagues and a couple from our transportation connection back there, Carolyn and Mike. You'll introduce them too? Yeah. Okay, bring your hands. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Councillor, and welcome to all of you for attending this public meeting. It's about Grindstone Creek, Bridge 451 is what we call it, but it is the bridge over the Grindstone and the railway that's running through the middle of the water dam area. So I'm going to do some land acknowledgement and some introductions and also some housekeeping items before I kickstart and give it to my colleague here, Omo Ajay. He's the senior project manager and responsible for this project. Okay, so land acknowledgement. The city of Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. This land is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabeg to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. We further acknowledge that this land is covered by the Between the Lakes Purchase 1792 between the Crown and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Today, the city of Hamilton is home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, North America, and we recognize that we must do more to learn about the rich history of this land so that we can better understand our roles as residents, neighbors, partners, and caretakers. Now, regarding some housekeeping items, recording. So we'll be recording this presentation today, and it will be available on Story Map, which is the website that is dedicated for this project. So it's available even if someone was not able to attend, or if you want to refer back again. Some of the logistics, please make sure that you're signing at the front desk. It's right there upon your arrival. A few pages, sorry for that. Accessible bathrooms are available at the front of the room. So just wanting to make sure it is this way. So there is accessible washroom. Users without accessibility needs can use the bathrooms which are down the hall here. Staff will present an overview of the project. After the presentation, we'll open the floor to questions. If questions arise during presentation, please jot them down and hold on to them until the Q&A session. And if participating virtually, put them in the chat box so that we can address it at the end. So I'll be monitoring the Q&A of anyone who is working online. As you can see, there are boards posted around the room that highlight the specific portions of the project. Once we adjourn the large meeting, folks in the room will have the opportunity to move around to look at them and to interact with staff on more specific questions. Now, rules for engagement. In an effort to foster the mutual respect, clear expectations, and care among the community members, we ask that all engagement, including any disagreements and/or criticism, be constructive and respectful. Remember the guidance of the WAMPM, being mindful of what we give and take, and to participate with good hearts and minds. Let me be clear that insults, threats, and/or harassment of staff and/or others will not be tolerated. This includes hateful, racist, xenophobic, homophobic, sexist, obscene, defamatory, rude, or vulgar remarks, as well as deliberate proliferation of misinformation to evoke fear, hostility, or to undermine protected rights. At the end of the day, this meeting is an active and protected workplace, and we are committed to ensuring it is a safe space. Now, I want to introduce the city staff who are present here, and they're available so that they can answer any questions. So the first set of city staff I'm going to introduce are the engineering services staff. We have Jackie Kennedy, the Director of Engineering Services. Jackie, or she's way behind. I already introduced myself. I'm Susan Jacob, I'm Manager of Design Section. Homo Ajay is the Senior Project Manager in the Design Services, and he'll be doing the major presentation today. Joey is the Design Technologist, and he has been helping with all the setup here. Gad, are you here? Okay, Gad is in the back. Mengshu is the Design Technologist. She's as well helping us. Wayne Wong is the design student. So you can already see quite a number of staff has been helping to put this presentation together. The other members of the staff that I want to introduce is from Transportation, Carolyn Rai. Carolyn is the Director of Transportation, so any traffic and transportation related questions, Carolyn will be taking them. Mike Field is the Manager of Transportation Operations. Mike is in the back. Yeah. All right, Tanveer, are you here? All right, Tanveer. He's the Traffic Design and Construction Manager too. Construction is represented, so once the design is all done and the construction is expected to start, so there are a lot of questions regarding construction, and I've got Ed English. Ed, can you read? Yeah. So Ed English is the Manager of Construction. He'll be taking all questions related to construction itself and the logistics of it. Corey Peters. Corey is also here. He's the project manager who will be on the construction site. We do have a few members of transit as well. Nick will be, Nick, you're here? Okay. Transit strategic planning, and Trevor from project manager transit strategy. So any transit related questions or the detouring of the buses or anything like that, my right, all of that, they'll be able to answer. All right, thank you so much for listening to me. I'll pass it on to Omo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Omar Jai, as introduced already. And thank you for joining us for the presentation of Grindstone Creek Bridge Replacement. as senior project manager of engineering services and project manager of this project, I'm excited to share this design of the Grindstone Creek Bridge replacement with the community. In this presentation, we will cover the following topics: objectives of this PIC, project locations and limits, the project overview, final design highlights of the project. Traffic management plan will be discussed. The challenges and community impacts. The community impact mitigation plan we are proposing, and let you have the project schedule timeline for construction. At the end of the formal presentation, we will take up your questions. We understand that projects like this have direct impact on the daily lives of residents. Our objective tonight is to share the final bridge and road design, present the transportation plans for construction, aiming to preserve as much level of service as possible while keeping the community connected. We will discuss the temporary data road plan and the challenges and impact to this community, the environment, as well as proposed plans that will reduce disruption to the community during construction. As noted before, we will offer the residents opportunity to ask questions. Please see the link and the QR code to access the story map. Project location and limits. The Grindstone Creek Bridge is located on Dundas Street near Mill Street in Waterdown. The bridge spans over both Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway tracks and the Grindstone Creek. One of the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway permit conditions requires us to raise the bridge and road to meet the new vertical requirement. This elevation change will have impact on properties on the northwest and southwest corner of this bridge. The impact on the driveway was discussed with the property owners and will be addressed during construction. The impacted area is highlighted in red. Project overview. The Grindstone Creek Bridge is aging and showing signs of deterioration, according to condition assessment, making it a priority for immediate replacement for safety reasons. The construction of the new bridge will enhance safety and mobility for all road users while incorporating modern design standards to ensure long-term durability for the next 100 years, supported by inspections and routine maintenance. This project represents a city investment in the community, upgrading both the bridge structure and municipal infrastructure, including improvements to the sanitary gravity sewer and water main. The water main upgrade will enhance the service level for customers and improve operational flexibility within the pressure district, while the gravity sanitary sewer upgrade will eliminate the bottleneck at the bridge and ensure consistent service delivery. As part of the bridge replacement project, other associated works are road reconstruction of Dundas Street from Mill Street East to Reynolds. Utility relocation of Bell, Alletra, Kojiko, and Rogers onto new utility poles that was installed on the north side of the bridge in advance to reduce the construction timeline. Multi-use pathway will be installed on the bridge on the south side for pedestrians and cyclists. Municipal utilities upgrade and realignment will be undertaken. This will upgrade the size of the gravity sanitary sewer from 200 millimeter to 300 millimeter. The first main sanitary sewer will be realigned, and the water main will be increased from 200 millimeter to 300 millimeter. The key design features of the Grindstone Creek Bridge. We have designed this bridge with both function and aesthetics in mind. The new bridge is a single span structure designed for all road users, both now and in future, featuring pedestrian-friendly walkways, multi-use paths, wider lanes, and an enhanced aesthetic design that blends the bridge seamlessly with the surrounding environment. The design incorporates an element of hamstring history. From the 1903 bridge balustrade in the new end walls of the bridge, located at the four corners. The total cost of this project, including all advanced work, such as third-party utility relocation, contractor bid cost, consultant's fee, and Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway flag person cost and contingency is approximately 15 million. Final design plans. Looking at Grindstone Creek Bridge from the treetop level, Grindstone Creek Bridge features 3 widened lanes, 1 lane in each direction and a center turn lane, and is designed to serve all road users, both now and in future. The bridge also includes widened sidewalk and a protected multi-use path separated from traffic by concrete barrier and enhanced with traffic safety features. Dundas Street will be reconstructed at a new elevation from east of Mill Street to Reynolds Street. This will include grading private entrances and driveway to align with the new elevation. The municipal infrastructure, including the 525 first main, 300 millimeter gravity sewer, and the 300 water main will be suspended beneath the bridge. It is not shown on the drawing now for clarity. The advanced location of the third-party utilities shown in blue on the north side of the bridge was completed in advance of work approximately 4 meters away from the existing bridge to comply with the Ministry of Labor requirements. So if you look at the panel on screen, the red indicates the road reconstruction from Mill Street to Reynolds Street. The light purple indicates the reconstructed sidewalks. The orange is the imparted driveway, and the deep purple is the existing sidewalk that is not upgraded at this time. The green indicates the multi-use part enhanced with safety features attached to it. This is the cross section of the Grindstone Creek Bridge facing Burlington, showing a composite structure with concrete deck supported by steel girders. The new bridge is slightly smaller than the existing one. The sanitary force main and the sanitary gravity sewer on the right-hand side will be relocated on the south side of the bridge and constructed in phase 1, which is this year, 2025. The 300mm water main will be completed in phase 2, 2026. This is the 3D model of the completed bridge facing Burlington, with insert highlighting the location of the heritage picture. We can see all we noted before: the guardrail, the barrier wall, the location of the sidewall, the crash cushion attached to the barrier, separating the multi-use part from traffic, and the multi-use part itself on the south side. Construction phasing and schedule. Grindstone Creek Bridge project is being managed with a phased construction approach that spans 2 construction seasons, 2025 and 2026. This strategy ensures the project progresses while maintaining services for all road users and keeping the community connected. Stage 1 will begin in spring and completed in December 2025. Construction will take place on the south side, shown in red, while the north side will remain open to traffic as a single one-way lane for eastbound traffic towards Burlington. Pedestrian accessibility will be maintained throughout construction. The sidewalk on the south side will be closed. Pedestrians will be rerouted to the north side of the sidewalk, using temporary pedestrian signal. In stage 2, we will begin in spring and completed in fall 2026. Construction will take place on the north side, shown in red, while the reconstructed bridge on the south side will open with 2 lanes, 1 in each direction. The sidewalk on the north side will be closed and pedestrians will be rerouted to the south side walk using temporary pedestrian signal. Again, stage 2B will begin in fall and completed in December 2026. Construction will take place on the south side, shown in red, to install the multi-use part. The reconstructed bridge on the north side will open with 2 lanes, 1 in each direction. The sidewalk on the south side will be closed and pedestrians will be moved to the north sidewalk using a temporary pedestrian signal. The bridge and road reconstruction will be completed and fully opened to the public in December 2026. The temporary detour plan. The designated temporary detour route plan for Grindstone Creek Bridge replacement will run from our Burnside Boulevard through Parkside Drive and Hamilton Street North. Clear signs will be installed in advance of the detour route to guide drivers. With detailed signs on Donner Street indicating side road closures and local traffic only. Additionally, traffic control measures, including temporary traffic signals at key intersections, such as Parkside Drive and Robson, and Parkside Drive and Baldwin, will be implemented to improve traffic flow supported to support the community during the detour. The insert include the detour route detailed signage. I know you cannot see it in details, but we have placed it around the room on the board for everyone to look at or ask questions during the breakout session. We will begin by outlining the challenges and community impacts, followed by our plans to address them throughout construction. The first one we know is traffic congestion. We know there will be increased delays during peak hours and other times. Impacts on the commuter travel and delivery schedule during construction. There will be short-term full road closure during construction of specific sections or process in the bridge construction, such as during installation of guiders and municipal reconnections of municipal facilities. For transit, only my ride on-demand services will be impacted. The third one we have identified is accessibility to businesses. There will be limited access to some businesses near the construction zone and impact to some driveways and alleyways during road construction. For pedestrians and cyclists, we have limited or rerouted pathways, creating challenges for active transportation. The environmental concerns we have identified include limited impacts on trees and creek, noise, dust, and potential vibration impacts on sensitive buildings. These mitigation plans are aimed at minimizing disruptions and safeguarding the well-being of residents and businesses during construction process. For traffic congestion, we have phased the lane closure to reduce disruption to the community. There will be occasional nighttime and weekend work to accelerate schedule and therefore reduce overall impacts and municipal infrastructure disruptions to the community. We will clearly identify the detour routes and signed properly for driver assistance. Traffic signal adjustment and temporary signals will be installed for smooth movement. The transit mitigation plan, HSRO will modify my ride on-demand service to avoid the bridge construction area. My ride passengers that want to transfer to route number 18 are encouraged to do so outside the downtown area and download the My Ride app or visit HSRO My Ride on Demand webpage for more information. We have attached a QR code here to help you with that. HSRO, which is Hamilton Street Railway, staff will continue to monitor the bridge work and alter their service as appropriate during construction. Accessibility to business. Access to business and residents will be maintained during construction. On the north side, the sidewalk construction will be phased to mitigate inconveniences to access local business near construction sites. Private driveways and alleyway entrances affected by construction will be repaired by the City of Hamilton, and all repair cost is included in the contract. Pedestrian and cyclist accessibility. Alternative sidewalk closure on the north and south side of the bridge to maintain pedestrian accessibility, with pedestrians rerouted to opposite sidewalk using temporary signal. Environmental impact mitigation. We will install construction barrier to safely separate work zones from traffic and surroundings. We will limit tree removal to only essential areas with commitment to replanting native species to support local biodiversity. Protect the creek using erosion sediment control measures. Noise, dust, and odor will be monitored and mitigated during construction like other constructions within the city. This contract includes vibration monitoring in and around the bridge with defined alert levels, along with pre-condition survey for properties within a 30-meter radius to determine the baseline of the properties. The project timeline. This will be into rows as you see here. Some parts have been completed and some are outstanding. We have tendered this project, which was done last year, and it closed this year, January. The pre-construction design preparation is as follows. We have done the design notices, which was sent out to the community in January. And today, we are doing the public information center. Construction notices will be sent out again to the public, supported by public service announcements, and we will do this in April. We are working on the contract award and purchase order, and we envisage to complete this in April 2025. The active construction schedule will be as follows. Year 1, stage 1, starting in spring and completed in 2025 December. Year 2 construction, we call stage 2A and B. We start in spring and complete in 2026. The project completion and full opening of this road to the public will be in December 2026. Well, we'll take your questions now from attendees, both in person here and online.
Online has reported that there is an echo, so there was some difficulty with listening. But if there are any questions, I'll go ahead and give it to you. From the floor, it's open. Go ahead.
For the traffic, it helps us understand studies that we've done to understand the impact of traffic flow congestion. We can take that one.
Carolyn or Mike, do you want to come over and speak? Maybe.
So I'll just repeat the question so everyone else heard. It was about what studies have we done to essentially come up with the traffic management plan for the project. That's the way I understand it.
Yes.
So good question, and I'm not going to pretend today to tell you that traffic won't be impacted. It's going to be impacted through this area for sure. It's a matter of mitigating those impacts through the work that we've done ahead of it, and then with alongside with construction of mitigating it while the project's going. So we do a variety of different things. First thing that we would do is data collection. So we have historic data collection, and then we did updated data counts. So that would be speed and volume, turning movement counts through all the intersections. And then we will lay that over with discussions with the engineering group about what the project staging looks like, what the needs of constructing the bridge, and the restrictions of actually needing to reduce the capacity on the bridge to allow construction. And then we'll do some modeling using some software called Synchro of modeling different scenarios to come up with the optimal traffic flow based on the inputs from the construction staging, the restrictions from the actual construction itself, to come up with a model that we believe to be the optimal model to deal with traffic in the area.
So if I understand what you're saying, the decision to make the closures on the bridge directionally have already been made without actually doing the studies.
No, that's not the case. We work with the construction group during the staging, during the design process, and we talk about the way that the traffic's going to be managed in concert with the design and the design of the construction staging.
Has any consideration been given to for phase one, where the traffic is going eastbound, perhaps thinking about it being ambidextrous? So for rush hour in the morning, eastbound is certainly busier. Rush hour going westbound in the afternoon is busier. And is there maybe consideration to having traffic flow in both directions when it's down to a single lane at peak periods?
Yeah, that's a question we just heard about, flipping the traffic from one direction to the other based on the time of day. So what I think the best thing for us to do is take that away and talk with the construction group to see what the feasibility of doing something like that would be from a traffic perspective, implementing that kind of thing, similar to the way the Sherman Access operates with some signage, that sort of thing. And seeing how that would fit with the constructability and the construction approach of the bridge. But I'll take that one away because I think that that's something that we can look into and see if that's a possibility.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, maybe you can stay around. Any more questions?
Just in follow up with the traffic flow, I'm interested to know what measures are being put in place for Hamilton Street South and Barton, where people will be avoiding the traffic to then get to Waterdown Road that's already backed up with the construction that's occurring on there.
There's when you have a chance, when you may have had a chance to walk around the room before the meeting, but there's on this table and those two tables at the back, which shows the signage plan and some of the traffic management plans. So on a lot of local roadways, which you may experience or is at risk of experience traffic infiltration during closure, where people are trying to seek methods to get around. There'll be some soft closures, local traffic only signs, and those sorts of things. So there's some setups related to those, and I'm happy to if you want to go at the table and go through them, I'm happy to do that with anyone. The other thing that we do with the construction group as well is we monitor through the construction project. So we're never, solid or cementing on this is the plan, stays this way forever, because things will evolve through the construction. There'll be things that we didn't account for, and then we'll make changes to either minor or major changes to detour plans as we feel the need is through the construction project.
Anything else? See a hand up there. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Two questions. The city's gridlock plan for this area, which we, several years ago, we went through that process. Does this automatically change that plan or have that plan good to go in the event that something disastrous happens so that traffic? We had the situation with the person jumping on the 403 and everything was rerouted through here, causing a death this end. And I'm just wondering, is that part of the plan to look at that gridlock plan and go, geez, in the event that we have to reroute, that has to be changed? My second question is the impact on the emergency service responses.
Okay, I'll start off with the first one and then I can start on the second one and Susan can add to it. Your first question is really good, and I think you're referencing probably the Waterdown transportation master plan that was completed a number of years ago, but also the impacts that happen when there's significant road closures on other roads in the area, especially the 403. Those are really hard to plan for because the amount of volume of traffic that's diverted from those highways, none of the roads in the city have the capacity to take that volume of traffic. So it's challenging for us as a municipality to deal with those situations because they can happen in a variety of different ways. But when they do occur, we'll attempt the best we can to divert traffic in the moment, either through signal timing adjustments or working with Hamilton Police Services to help redirect traffic in those circumstances where it's really significant impacts. But it's really challenging because our staff, when we're trying to make those signal timing adjustments, we're stuck in the traffic too. And it takes us some time to get there. Those are unique circumstances and it's hard to have one plan that suits all scenarios. But if that were to occur, which probably likely that there'd be over the 2 years something happening on the 403, but we would try to react to those and accommodate the traffic flow. Also, I should mention we would work with the MTO, say it was MTO or OPP, taking a role in managing something that happened on the 403. And then for emergency services, part of the process when we're going through and doing the the traffic management plan, we will talk with other stakeholders like emergency services, EMS, police, fire. So they have a chance to review those detour plans and provide comments, and then we'll take those comments into account and adjust the detour plans as we see fit. But maybe Susan wants to add about during the design phase, what happens to.
So the emergency services were contacted during the design phase. They're made aware of the detour plan and what is the staging of the project has been identified with them. During the pre-construction stage, and maybe you can help me here as well, that will be further discussed. So the school buses, the emergency, all those parties are involved in making those decisions. They made aware of the project as well. And do you want to add on?
Sure. Yeah, at the pre-construction meeting, emergency services are invited. They're kept up to date on all of the schedule throughout. Any particular restrictions, they're updated throughout. So they will have their route planned from the station, which I'm sure everybody knows the station here in Waterdown is fire station number 24. It's up almost right at the detour. So they have virtually an unlimited access, even with the bridge down, to the far side of Waterdown and to the side of Waterdown as well. Right across the park side.
All due respect, there's a train coming across.
And maybe take the mic for the online audience as well.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, that is a good point. But if there is a train, we would have to discuss that, not at the time, of course, but at the time of our pre-construction meeting, we would have to meet with emergency services and review that to make sure. We are not planning on the bridge being down in both directions. So certainly if they need to get across, we can shut down traffic to allow them to get through.
One from Mike. Do you know if there's a plan in place, whether municipal equipment or private companies, things like tow trucks to be in place to remove accidents on Parkside? Like, you know, say there's an accident down by the tracks, there really isn't a lot of access on shoulders or anything near the accident. What's kind of the outline for that?
Interesting question. We hope that there's not a lot of collisions during it, but there's generally not those plans in place. The city doesn't have tow trucks or that type of infrastructure. However, if we saw that there was, an issue pop up during the construction, this is where Ed's team does a really good job, is that they would ask for some support from us if they required it, and then we would come up with solutions to scenarios that we'd be seeing during construction. So if that was an issue, say collisions, I think the first thing that I would react to is why are there collisions, and then let's solve those collisions from occurring. And then if there was issues with vehicles blocking lanes and that sort of thing, and it's a reoccurring issue, then we would have discussions about how we would manage those circumstances and put something in place to deal with it.
For the online audience, it's a hard way for communicating because there's a unit that shows who is speaking. All right, any more questions?
I live right at Reynolds and Dundas, so I am right there. So I'm wondering, where will the construction equipment be located? Like, as far as where people who are working, where will they be parking? Will they be parking on Reynolds Street? What are we looking at that way? Are there any plans in place for that?
Do you want to take one?
Yes. For equipment location and deployment, most of the equipment will be on the northeastern side. It will be determined by the contractor how they plan their work. But from design perspective, we looked at the northeast corner. If you see the broad street, the unassumed road,
Okay.
there's a lot of space there where they would use.
What will the hours of construction be like during the day?
Generally, because we are using a flagging system from CP, it will be between 7 and 5 p.m. But generally, there are other times that may change. It might be up to 7 p.m. It may be night work, depending on the kind of work we are doing.
Great. And the pedestrian signal, that's gonna be right in front of my house.
Yes.
What does that look like? Like, is it a traffic light? Is it big? Is it bright? What is that?
It will be similar to a standard pedestrian signal. We have a pole. It will be a mobile pole. It could be a fixed pole, depending on the choice of the contractor. But it's not a huge.
So it's not like a three-way or two-way stoplight or anything that's up high. It's just a small.
It's made a pole that will have 3 lights: red, yellow, and green.
Okay. And then the pedestrian walkway that's going to be on the north side when they're doing the other side, is that wheelchair accessible?
Yes, because it is widened. The minimum size there is 2 meters.
During construction?
During construction. On the north side, the existing sidewalk will be there in the phase 1.
Okay,
Where's Tiffany? This is a good time because there's
that's
so
why I
much.
asked.
Someone's
Because you're my
there.
neighbor.
Tiff,
Yes.
do you have a question?
My concern is with darts, transportation. I know with myself, I use it daily. But so does Waterdown Manor. A lot of the pedestrians, a lot of the residents that use use darts, their vehicles cannot go particularly down in their driveways. And for me, I've had issues where darts has to stop in front of my house, and all of a sudden there's a lineup of traffic behind the darts vehicle, and then people are honking at the drivers, wondering what the heck is going on. It's a safety issue, and my concern is for all of the residents that are elderly and myself. It's a safety issue. You can't stop traffic like that.
I'll call Nick to answer this question. Thanks.
Nick Schiller, Manager of Strategic Planning for HSR. The question is on DART's access during construction,
Yes.
noting that it will block traffic at times and that access direct to a door might not be possible. So I do want to note, I don't work on the DART side, so I'm going to answer to the best of my ability. Usually during construction, we would accommodate that individual. There's ways to bring the bus as close as possible to pick you up. And we will continue to do that work through this construction. I will not lie, I'm sure it will be difficult at times, but our DARTS team does try to make sure that we're accommodating everyone.
Yeah,
Why don't you think about removing that blockade in the middle lane in front of our house? Because when Dart stops in front of our house, no one can use the middle lane of that.
yeah,
That's where the backup happens, when people get frustrated.
yeah.
That's a useless spot, so we should remove everything.
Couple of questions from the online. Will the existing island west of Reynolds be reinstalled?
Well, hang on, was that,
Yeah.
was,
We finished
are you gonna take that feedback? Because I think it's part of the feedback.
So if there is a dart step in the lane that affects the traffic, how do we handle that?
I think there's an additional comment.
The comment was if we can look at the median or the island in the middle.
Which is the question you should have, is it going to be removed?
Yeah.
Carolyn,
It will be reinstalled.
It will be reinstalled. The island will be reinstalled. But one of the feedback we got back was it was to avoid traffic from using the center turn lane as a through traffic. But if it is a decision or a comment that the committee does not want the island to be reinstalled, we can take that back and look at it.
Great.
Okay.
A few more questions from the online and then I'll get to you. Is there any compensation for cleaning cost because of the dust for homes and businesses? The answer is no, no one wants to speak. Cleaning cost, compensation for cleaning.
There's an item in the contract to do cleaning of the road. So I'm not sure we're cleaning that.
Cleaning up the dust from homes.
That is an interesting question, and we did not plan for that. One of our plans is to mitigate dust by using a lot of dust suppressants like water and so to prevent dust. Yeah, once if dust gets to the air and enter people's house, it will be difficult to determine what are the extra dust that enter the house and all of those things. So what we will do based on our contract now is to minimize dust. When we are doing activities that has a lot of dust, we will try as much as possible to suppress the dust before it goes out.
How many people are online?
33.
33.
Integrated.
Yeah, one of the chat question is, on Reynolds Street, we will be able to have a house foundation assessment before and after construction. Yes, before construction, we will do what we call a pre-condition survey of all the houses within 30 meters radius, as noted in the presentation. Okay. Go ahead.
Would you be able to pull up the traffic management slide again?
This one?
Yeah, so on Parkside, where it meets Avonside, there's a turn there, there's a stop sign there. So I have multiple questions, but how are you going to manage the traffic that's coming down that part of the Parkside there? Either turning left onto Avonside, or there's gonna be no way to turn. Or even turning right, because there's just gonna be a constant stream of traffic. Like, going back, especially.
I did to that. Has there been any thought of putting a temporary light in at sites from outside? Because that would give traffic. Sure.
That's a two-part question.
Okay, two-part question. The first part of the question about managing the traffic, you're asking basically like how are you going to, there's gonna be a constant stream of traffic, how are you gonna navigate that? That's kind of one of the purposes of the new temporary traffic signals, that will provide gaps in the traffic by pausing the flow of traffic on Parkside. That will create.
You want to pause traffic. So like everything will just. Oh, so
Stacks up, yeah.
Yeah, nobody will be able to turn.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned at the beginning, it's no doubt is gonna be impactful. That's partly that issue is based on volume, right? So, we would, like there's another traffic signal at Avonside and Dundas as well. So we would be synchronizing or attempting to synchronize the signals, so it's providing gaps in traffic for people so they can make those movements.
So and then where you have the signal on Parkside there. So we had a situation, I think it was a couple of years ago, where there was temporary signal put at Robson.
Yes.
Right, and there was no turning lane. So that's fine, like there's a traffic, like there's a signal there, people can turn left. But when there's traffic coming the other way, they can't turn and it just backs up traffic. So how is that, like, is there going to be a turning lane put in there and that will?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have the answer because I don't know the specific details of the function of those traffic signals at this moment. In terms of if there's gonna be left-hand or right-hand turn, like dedicated phases to allow or turn lanes.
So even if you had like a left-hand turn dedicated, it doesn't matter if 5 cars behind.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're still, running into the same stall.
Yeah.
The only way to solve that is to have a turning in bypassing.
Yeah, no, it's the challenge will be for a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of questions about getting out of the subdivision and just making movement around based on the volume of traffic. And it's true, there's going to be a lot of additional volume on a lot of roadways that never existed before, and it's gonna take some time. And one of the things I mentioned too is that while we're taking our best attempt at optimizing the traffic flow, we don't stop there. We continue monitoring those, and then we'll make adjustments. That temporary signal that you made mention of that we put in a couple of years ago, we didn't have that initially when the construction began, and then we added it because we saw that there was a need for it. It made things worse in some respects and something better in other respects, but that's kind of part of the process we go through of doing the initial assessment, letting it operate, seeing if it's operating well, making more adjustments as things go on as we can. There will be issues that we can't resolve just because of the geometry of the area, and that there's no other roadways that you can go on to escape it. Oh, sorry. Chris, you had a question though.
Cindy missed.
About another traffic signal though?
Oh, yeah, she's just been waiting for a little bit.
Oh.
I have an online question here. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Mine deals with what you were just talking about. I live at Robson and Parkside, and when you put the light in 2 years ago when Center Road was closed, it was unbelievable. I would go and watch the light turning red for Parkside. There was a lineup and there would be 8 to 10 cars turning left on the red light to go on to right. So really, And now that there's gonna be even more traffic going into town, there needs to be a left turn light, like a left turn signal. And also they can get around it if they would pave the shoulder.
Yep.
Cars were backed up because there's only one lane. If they paved the shoulder, cars could at least get around. You can't get around now because there's potholes that sink your car, so you can't do that. So if they just put in a left turn light, like a left turn signal and pave the shoulder for through traffic. I have one other question too. Was there any consideration given about the Commons tractors and wagons that use Robson and Parkside multiple times a day?
Maybe the first one about the operation of the traffic signal. I don't have that in my not able to pull the function of those traffic signals out of my memory at this moment. But there may be already designed within that to have the left turn arrows and that sort of thing. But I don't want to misspeak and say there is or there isn't, because I don't know at this moment. But that's something that I can look into, and then not too sure if there's a way that we can record some questions and provide answers after the fact. That works.
We are recording some of the questions, so if we didn't get back to you, we will take it down and post it out.
Yeah, I think just generally the function of those temporary traffic signals is a question, and we can provide some more clarity of what that's going to look like and how they're going to function. So I appreciate we're taking that away, and we can provide more information to that. The second one about the other types of vehicles, I'm not too sure through the construction project if alternative types of vehicles, wagons, and those types of things are considered.
Or during construction, somebody like a tractor, if it's allowed on the road, it will be, part of traffic that's moving through.
Well,
So
he goes from Robson Road from Commons across the railway tracks and up the hill. And I've seen so many times where people, pass it on the double line at the intersection of Golding on the railway tracks. And you're gonna have so much more traffic. And now Commons also goes east because they own the Fruit to Go property. So they're going both directions. And I'm just wondering if any consideration was given about that.
really, I would think that any traffic movements that they had taken note of would have been considered. I'm sure that when the traffic counts were being done, they wouldn't have said, don't count that, it's a tractor. But that being said, it is a detour route. There's going to be more traffic. And unfortunately, it will affect his ability to get down the road in a speedier manner. And it will also affect people who get tired of driving behind a tractor and they want to pull out. It may in fact become an enforcement thing. If we see something that's happening over and over again, we can alert the police department who can come out and monitor. And if people are passing in an unsafe manner, then they'll be ticketed.
Let me jump in here because I have a good relationship with the Commons folk.
Who's the mic?
I have a good relationship with the Commons folk, and we can talk. And we'll monitor that and see if we can modify the behavior of their traffic coming out to sort of control in terms of the hours and such. So you send me a note or talk to me and I'll get your information and we'll be sure we follow up on that.
Thank you, Councillor. And to add on, there were a few points that you mentioned. The condition of Parkside Drive. It is we are planning to do some resurfacing before the detour. So as soon as the weather breaks, we are planning to do that. That's an additional point. Probably it's in the FAQ. We actually had prepared some frequently asked questions. So we do have some additional copies here if you need to look at that. It is also posted on the website.
Are you able to actually widen it where it's possible to, as the nice lady suggested, to make a left-hand turn lane or a passing lane?
Shoulder paving probably, but not as an additional lane.
Shoulder paving, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. There's no room, but
We'll look at it.
You want to break and at some point?
Why don't you take one?
So we have a lot of staff here that are available to
be around the room and take questions individually as well. If you've got a question that you feel the whole group needs to hear, by all means, let's take a couple more. And then perhaps we can break and we can split off and you can go. All of the slides that were run through up here through OMO are available around the room. And I've seen people taking some pictures of it as you went. They'll be available online as well afterwards. So you don't have to worry about that. But I just want to suggest that we can get through more questions as well, because we've got a large number of staff here if we do that. So I can see some eagerness. I got you. We'll get your question. Councillor.
Let me ask you one question since you're here. Jackie Kennedy has responsibility for the bypass. Maybe you could just update her to get it in.
Please say throw her under the bus.
Keegan and I have regular conversations about the bypass. We are, from the engineering perspective, we are ready to go. To continue on with the work and to get out there and finish up the archaeological work. We have had some concerns expressed from our partners in the Indigenous community who are looking for some more confirmation of the consultation that was taken and the archaeological process. We are working through what proves to be a process that is not linear. So we're trying to find our way forward on it. And that's really the amount that I can tell you on it. But when we do find our way forward, the people that are here today, like Susan, and the community member who's also here, who's part of the design on it, but he's not here working, he's here as a member of the community, as the senior PM on that project. We have the design components as far along as can be expected. So once we do get some progress, that project will pick up with some, I'm going to say speed. You're probably going to call me on that, but we will make some progress once we get that going again. Councillor?
Can we take 2 or 3 more questions and then do a break?
Yeah, perfect. Okay, this gentleman here who can't keep it in any longer.
It's going to affect everyone in the community in terms of the safety aspect. Has to do with the consideration of trucks, especially the double trailer trucks that move routinely on Dundas Street, the only truck route, east, west, and Waterdown. I see the diversion route that you have there is going to be going down Parkside Drive, turning left on Hamilton. In fact, should not trucks just be rerouted away from Waterdown and going westbound, not coming into the town at all?
Yes.
That's a good question, and I've considered that. We will be requesting MTO's permission to post some variable signs at Highway 6 informing about the bridge construction project. So we are in the permit application stage right now about the detouring of the trucks to avoid, if it can, through these construction zones. But obviously on Parkside, you do have truck traffic going to the, forgot the name of the, sorry, then what's that mineral site? Opta Minerals, yes. I've been in conversation with them on the Parkside Drive project, so they're aware of this project as well. We will make sure that they're communicated as well. They need to get to their site, so they will be using Parkside and the detour. But yeah.
There already is a problem with trucks moving around on streets where they should not be. These are not local trucks, just trying to avoid the traffic. When this turns into what will be chaos, people will be going left, right, everywhere they want, and maybe avoid the rereading signs, the detour signs, etc. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's imperative that we get the trucks not coming to Waterdown, going west at this point. It's imperative.
Yeah, the posting on Highway 6 should be able to help us minimize that. We will try and do that as early as possible before the construction starts.
Just for the trucks, I'll mention too, you're right, we don't want trucks where they're not supposed to be, and that's an enforcement issue. So, if we do suffer that issue where there's trucks that are going places where they shouldn't be, then Hamilton Police Services is the enforcement arm of the posted truck route. The other thing too is if you do a search on the city's website or just in Google and you put City of Hamilton truck routes, there's a reporting tool that you can use. And that's a really handy tool because that information gets logged. And then, if we see, it's not a transportation group, it's a different group. If we see that there's an issue, then we will also reach out to Hamilton Police Services to ask for enforcement consideration. So that's another tool that, if you do experience, there's a lot of trucks that you really don't think should be there, then that's another resource that you can utilize too, or I would encourage you to use.
And there's also some issues with potholes where people are trying to turn left and right and trying to navigate. It's a possible.
I've popped this corner. One of the lanes is eroded completely with potholes, and that's gonna be one of the areas where there's supposed to be more traffic trying to get into Burlington. We're just wondering if that could be addressed as Dundas, when you're turning left to go south on Highway 6. One lane is total hops.
We'll just take that back. Yeah, we'll take that back and look at it.
Thank you.
Is there any consideration for taking parking off Main and Mill Streets during construction and having them wide open?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Is there any consideration for taking the parking availability off Main and Mill to allow them to be wide open so that there will be a flow?
Parking on Main Street will be taken off.
Those are all business, so that was.
Yeah, we'll have to take that away. I don't think that was considered.
Susan, I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
My name is Ali. Thank you for to give me chance to ask the question. I have one question. I have one question. The traffic coming from Dundas, take right turn, Evans Boulevard, and then fast side to Hamilton North, right? Correct? From Evans side to Park Street, there are 2 lanes. When you go this side, Park side only 1 lane. There is more traffic and time maybe half an hour more than that to reach on Hamilton Street North. So just I'm asking what your goal, more traffic flow on that area, because this Parkside area, when you go from the tag, there's a residential as well area, there is speed limit 40. Park Street from Dundas is 60 limit, 2 lanes. So when you divert the traffic, only 1 lane. So just I want to know that if any consider to traffic flow.
Thank you for the question. Traffic that do not need to come to Waterdown does not need to come to Waterdown. They can go straight to Highway 6. That is the way we should look at it. All the truck traffic on the detour road goes straight to Waterdown on that designated route. Other trucks can continue on Parkside Drive until they get to Highway 6, depending on the direction they are going.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you for coming in and conducting this PIC tonight. I think we can see that residents.
Speak up, please.
Residents are concerned about this issue, so I'm sure you can see based on turnout that you have some questions, and thank you again. I have about 4 questions, a couple related to traffic and some for the contract management side of things. First question is from a contract management perspective. Are there any delay penalties for the contract or incentives for early completion?
We do not have any specific incentive or disincentive on this project for one reason. This project is under flagging of CP rates. They control the pace of our work. And working under CP, from experience on other projects, we can lose up to 40% of production time. So So incentive and this incentive on this kind of project will not achieve that result we would need.
So the time of day is limited by flagging however productivity is.
Correct.
So there's no disincentive or penalties.
We have the standard liquidated damages in case of delay of the project. Ed can speak more to that. But for specific incentive and disincentive on this project cannot really be achieved because the city flag person determines our work pace. If a train is coming, we are normally kicked out of the zone. And when they are done, so each time we lose, for each train that passes, we lose some amount of work. So that needs to be taken into consideration.
Okay, so then from a traffic perspective, I wondered what the level of service of the detour during peak hours is monitored as.
So level of service, the question about level of service at signalized intersections, I'm assuming, which talks about the function of it. I think it's worth mentioning that part of the process of going through the traffic management plan and construction plan was a full closure of the bridge to replace the bridge. So obviously that was ruled out very early. That would be very impactful. So what is put in place is like some people might not see it as optimal, but compared to a full closure to replace the bridge, obviously having some degree of traffic flow is the best solution. And that is a significant investment to replace that bridge for the community as well, which is another important thing. Level of service is going to be F. It won't be good. We know that just because of the volume and it being a detour route and that there's not very many other roads that through this area that traffic being diverted to. So it's going to be a poor level of service in those intersections during AM and PM peak.
So with, I still back to that, so will there be any capital or operational improvements for the signal system such as adaptive technology like biofield?
The city has an advanced traffic management system. It was taken down by the cyber attack and it is in the process of being recovered. And recovering is going to happen sometime mid-year this year. Some of our traffic signals are connected to that automated system and they will make adjustments. Others aren't. But either if they are or they aren't, we're going to be monitoring and either making automatic or remote adjustments, or we're going to visit the actual intersection itself and make adjustments.
So will, if it's not connected to traffic management center, will the corridor optimize?
We will do that manually. Yeah.
So I'd like to formally request that a feasibility study be done to implement the intersection improvements at Robson and Parkside, given the level of service. That first,
Cool.
And so as part of the PIC, I'd like to sign with it. That's what
Was the question, I'm trying to paraphrase the question, is it you wanted to know whether Robson and Bolding, the signals will remain?
What's a feasibility study?
Yeah, PIC can do that.
Sure, you're talking about looking at the function of that intersection for the future, basically, or what that would look like
during the detour.
During the detour. Okay, yeah, we would be monitoring that during the detour of the function of it, just like we would with all the other traffic intersections and making adjustments.
Okay, so my request is that a feasibility study for a left turn be implemented.
Okay. Got it. Yes. Thank you.
Prior to
Got it.
construction.
Correct.
Yeah, prior to and during. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shall we take a break now and we'll be available throughout here? Just a minute.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Let me just, let's just take a minute to thank all the staff who came out tonight, first of all. I was gonna tell you, no matter what you hear, the staff of the city of Hamilton are by and large, 99.2% of them are excellent. And, we're seeing some of the best out tonight. So, thank you all for coming very, very much. I want to just say a couple things quickly. 54% of all the calls we get, in our office, have to do with public safety. Stop signs, I got good news and bad news on potholes. We fixed 72,000, we've got 300,000 more to go. Anyhow, it's a serious problem. We're dealing with it. Carolyn's dealing with it all the time. If you have specific questions, there's an email that they can pop into,
The contact information.
or the QR code. Can you just give us the email again, Susan?
What's that for?
Contact for further questions. There is constructionservices@hamilton.ca will be the contact information. If not, do we have one for Homo? Your contact is also on there?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll provide you the contact information and it's also posted on the website, the story map, the QR code of which was available here today. So you can contact through the website and we'll answer all your questions. We have taken down the questions as well today. The frequently asked questions of all the answers on all the questions we received so far has been written down and this is also on the website. But all the questions that we heard today, and we try to answer them, we have taken down some notes and we can add further on to this frequently asked questions. So if you feel like you want to ask more, please do that. You can write down here and we'll take care of that.
And feel free to email me as well, because we can
Yeah.
handle 64% of the calls. Okay, if it goes up.
I've already emailed you on mine.
Please don't leave here tonight without having your question answered. They've got about 20 staff people here to help you. Okay?
Like that, there's an existing thing right now. I live on Mill Street South, right next door to the school buses. At the moment, you've got a temporary bus stop at the corner of Griffin Street and Mill Street to go right down Mill. There's parking on one side of the street. When the bus comes down, they come down Franklin Street, which is one way. There's parking all down that street. The bus is coming down, it's turning onto Griffin South and then onto Mill Street.
Yeah. Why don't we meet at the table over here? You can show us where you're talking about it and we can take some notes and we can figure out what the.
Carolyn.
Well, I'm already.
Talk to Carolyn.
If I get other people like checking out me now. Transit, they can help Yeah.